Well, the person who did make the case was Benjamin Netanyahu, and he, advocated for this, but he hasn't advocated just to Donald Trump for 25 years. For 30 years, he's been advocating to president after president. I mean, why Trump?
You're absolutely right. The core premise of your question is undeniable. Many presidents have faced this pressure. Only Trump caved. That's just a fact. So as I said, I don't know why. There are,
he wasn't hypnotized. He just swallowed it.
He may have been hypnotized. That's real. People are absolutely hypnotized. I know a lot of people have been hypnotized. I have been hypnotized. Of course, people are hypnotized all the time.
But on an issue like this,
what?
But on an issue like this,
of course, we're all hypnotized from time to time. Words have power. Words change reality.
But this is a president who...
We hypnotize ourselves all the time.
But you supported him. So many like
I didn't
you
just support him. I campaigned for him.
I was, by the way, and we'll talk about this, I was at the RNC when you spoke.
No way.
I was. And you spoke and, you were convincing and compelling in your
I had no notes.
arguments.
I meant it.
But to come out, to campaign for him, to support him in the way that you did, and then for him to campaign on a no war, no forever wars, and for it to end up like this.
No one was as shocked as I was.
Yeah.
So my first of all, I would just say, as I try to force myself to say always, I was wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of other things, including the Iraq War, so I am capable of being not just wrong, but very embarrassingly wrong. So that's just a fact. Why was I wrong? It's not like I didn't know Trump had flaws. I know Trump intimately. I know Trump really, really well. And I've always liked him, but I know what he's like. And so I was eyes wide open in some ways. But my calculation was, and it seemed obvious, that from my perspective, what the country needs is a choice. And the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are identical in their core assumptions about the economy and foreign policy, which is what matters. And I thought Trump was an option.
Are you talking to Trump at the moment?
No.
You haven't spoken to him since?
I've not. February 28th. I spoke to him the 27th. I haven't talked to him since. I don't hate him. I feel sorry for him. What he did is a catastrophe. He knew it would be. He did it anyway. So the question is why? I think it's really important to know, just as I think it's important to know who killed John Kennedy. It happened before I was born. I'm not a Democrat. I have no personal reason for needing to know that other than I've got a stake in the United States. I've got a bunch of kids. I hope the country continues. I sort of like our system. I would like to preserve it. And if there's evidence that elections aren't the final say in who runs the country, if there are people who have control over the people who claim they have control, then I have a right to know what that is and who they are.
And I want to quote you because you say the war in Iran has taught us that the people you elect aren't even in charge. Someone else is, in this case, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yes.
What are the long-term effects of a population understanding that voting doesn't make a difference?
Exactly.
I guess...
It's scary.
But I ask because Donald Trump has stopped this war now. And Benjamin Netanyahu, you have said in this interview, this is a dangerous moment for Israel.
Big time.
Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned. He has said, this is not my deal. This is not my ceasefire. I reserve the right to defy it if I need to. But that is Donald Trump in charge, right?
I don't know if it's Trump in charge. He's certainly taking a different course than he did 110 days ago, for sure. Radically different. And he's blaming his failures on Netanyahu, which is predictable. And well-deserved. I'm not mad about it, and I think Netanyahu's obviously a criminal, and I don't feel sympathy for him after all the innocents he's murdered. But I do feel sympathy for Israel, just because there are a lot of nice people in Israel, and they don't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. And as I said, I think this is, I want to be honest enough to admit, I think this is an actually threatening, not a fake theatrical threatening, but actually threatening moment for Israel. So I feel bad about that. But all I know is what I saw. Trump was not enthusiastic about doing this. He knew the risks. He thought the risks were real. He told me that. And he did it anyway. And he did it against the advice of his own intelligence agencies and against the wishes and maybe in some mild cases the advice of his own advisors. So why did he do that? At whose behest did he do that? He wasn't enthusiastic about it. He'd said for 10 years he wasn't going to do it. He thought it was a bad idea. He campaigned against regime change wars in the Middle East. A lot. Not just parenthetically, but it was a central position. And it, so far as I could tell, having talked to him about it many, many, many times, I think it was heartfelt. So I don't know what to say. I mean, and people try and push you off the question by alleging hatred or bias or whatever. I just don't care. I don't feel that. I'm not a hater. I actually reject that whole way of thinking. I'm not an ethno-nationalist, unlike the Israelis and their unregistered foreign agents in the United States who are ethno-nationalists. I'm not. I believe in God, and I think that God created every single person and endowed every person with the same rights. We call them human rights because they attach to you as a human, not as a Muslim or Christian or Jew or Arab. Or it doesn't. You're a human being, therefore you have these rights. That's how I feel. So I believe in universal standards of behavior.